Hi, my name's Dan, and this video is one in the series that I'm doing on particle effects in Unreal using the Niagara plugin. And in this one, I'm going to show you how to use events, or at least the very basics of how to use events within a Niagara system. So I've just got a normal third-person template. I'm going to quickly create a Niagara system. New system from selected emitters, and I'm going to use a fountain and an omnidirectional burst. And what I'm trying to do is create a like a fireworks effect. Now, I'm not going to spend time on the colors or lighting things up or anything like that. I really just want to focus on the idea of when the firework firing up and then creating a burst effect, which we're going to do using events inside the system. I'm just going to call this NS fire. So events are a way of linking one emitter to another, or in this case, we're going to use the particles from one emitter to create or to invoke the second. So the fountain is going to be the firework that's been fired up into space, and the omnidirectional burst is going to give us the effect of the firework exploding. So there's a few settings that I need to change to make this look reasonable before we get into it. So in terms of the fountain, I'm just going to change the spawn rate. Is it 90? At the moment, I'm going to bring this down to a much more reasonable 5 per second. And also, it'd be nice for them to go up a bit higher. There's all sorts of things we could do to make that happen, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the gravity to -5. Now you'll see, as the timeline goes on, this omnidirectional burst just bursts every time it cycles back around at the moment. So we want to take out that's spawn burst instantaneous. That's making that happen. We're going to take that out. And we want to make it so that when these particles die, they create an event which then can be used to create an omnidirectional burst. What else should we alter in here? It's got a scale color in it, and this is the thing that's making it fade at the end of its life. So I'm just going to take that out. So they just wink out of existence. But that's the point where we're going to make a burst happen. And so we need to make it generate that burst, or generate that event. So we're just going to do plus on the particle update and go to events. And we're going to use the death event. So this is going to generate the death event. There's a whole lot of information about what's called the payload, which is what information gets sent from that to the other emitter. But in the other emitter, we need to receive that event and do something as a result. So we're going to click on Add Event Handler, which is an event handler, and we'll get some properties. We can't set those properties just yet. I'll come back to that in a second. But we also want it to, we're going to click again, and plus we want it to be able to receive that event. So I'm just going to go an event to receive death event. So there are other kinds of events as well. Now let's come to this exclamation mark. There's an error. Particle spawn error. This stage has compile errors. And if we click on that, it says this stage has errors. Show the errors in the Niagara log. Before particle ID parameter can be used, requires persistent IDs option has to be activated in the emitter properties. Right. Emitter properties requires persistentness. Requires persistent IDs. And what this means is that the particles themselves have IDs, so they can be individually identified. And that gets rid of that error, so that's fine. So we've now got this firing up. When they die, they should be creating that event. That event should be being picked up over in this emitter, so it's receiving the death event. The event handler properties, we want to tell it what to pick up. We've had to set up the other things before this would register here as a possibility. So we've got the fountain death event coming in here. And I happen to know that you're going to have an issue if we don't also, in the emitter spawn, no, the emitter state, change this to system. I don't know why, but I did that and things started working. So let's go back to the handle properties. I might need to change every particle. I think it needs to be changed to spawn particles. We'll check that in a second and see what happens. And the crucial thing here is that we haven't got a number of particles spawned yet. As soon as we do, when they die, they spawn the particles. Let's just check what happens if we switch that to every particle. That is going crazy because it's also triggering itself, I think. So we'll switch it back to spawn particles. So as I said, I haven't looked at colours. We'll just drag those into the world and have a look at it. So it's just got white. It's not lit, so it's not actually doing anything with white. It's just generating these things going up in the air and spawning more. And while, of course, it would be fun to spend ages trying to get that so that this creates lighting effects as well. And we've got colours, and it'd be really nice if we had a colour for each of these rockets going up that then gets transferred to the colour that goes through, and we could add sounds. All those things are cosmetic. What I really wanted to show is the mechanism. Now, I will tell you that I spent a very long time trying to work out what was going wrong and why it wasn't working until I went to the emitter emitter update and changed this to system. I think I was kind of randomly trying things to see what happened, and suddenly it worked. So it's worth knowing that that's there. Anyway, that's probably the most simple case of getting one emitter to generate an event, getting another emitter to respond to that event, and that's it from me for now.